given the volume of people here and online, I think we can safely get a quality of arguments and a broad selection with 1 minute each.
Okay, thank you. And so when you come up, if you could line up against the wall and sign your name in when you come up, as this public speaker just
Reverend
did.
Dr. Megan
Good
Roy.
job. So you can start, and you have 1 minute.
Right.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Megan Rohr. To believe that we are not a certified community because we are trans is strange and seems like a big oversight for the city. The transgender district is founded based on this historic building in question. So important that we renamed the street sign to Gene Compton's Way. We have 2 plaques on the sidewalk. To think we are not a known entity to the city to notify trans folk, to notify the trans cultural district, to notify groups that are signed up individually to receive those notifications seems, let's just say it's not biased on purpose, but it seems to be a continued action and behavior. It is a historic building for the city, for the state, and for the nation. The idea that you wouldn't notify people the use of this space so that we couldn't be able to bring our comments forward and appeal the use is a strange oversight, and I hope it'll get changed.
Thank you. So the next speaker, can you move up and write your name? And also the speaker after that, if you can advance just so we can keep it flowing. Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Hello, my name is Susan Stryker. I'm the historian who first brought to light the long-forgotten story of the Compton's Cafeteria riot of 1966, which began on the ground floor of the building now owned and operated by Geo Group at the corner of Turk and Taylor. In my professional capacity, I've long advocated for higher and better uses of that building, one that honors its historical significance as the site of the first collective militant resistance by trans people to the criminalization of our lives, so significant, in fact, that it has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places. I'm proud that my work has been used by concerned community members to address concerns that they have about the place where we all live. There is significant community opposition evidenced by the large number of people who have turned out at this hearing to Geo Group's use of 111 Taylor as a private for-profit incarceration facility. There's been a growing groundswell of activism that seeks to change that use. I hope it is not the case that this growing visibility and public opposition to Geo Group has anything to do with the failure to notify Chanrda Laborde of the letter of determination that she was led to believe
please
that she
respect
would be
the
informed.
process. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jo Kreider. I am a resident of San Francisco, an artist in the Tenderloin, and someone with a formerly incarcerated partner. I speak to you really on behalf of people who live in 111 Taylor. I've been told from people who live there of maggots in the food, of spoiled food, of people not being given passes to do errands that free people do regularly. There are 2 things that were said tonight. The attorney for Geo Group said, this is not an extraordinary case. It's extraordinary to suffer at Geo Group at 111 Taylor, and don't undercount that. Second, I heard a lot of downplaying of the procedural error. Don't listen to the downplay, because there's a lot at stake at 111 Taylor for people seeking their second chance. So let the appeal process move forward. Thank you.
Okay, next speaker, please. The gentleman in the pink scarf, please move forward. And then the speaker after that, please sign your name and be prepared to speak.
David Elliott Lewis, co-chair, Tenderloin People's Congress. We have discussed this issue. We have received presentations from Chandra and her colleagues, and we have come to a conclusion that this is an important misuse of this site. The historic site of Compton's Cafeteria is being abused by a private prison corporation. The issue of notification and determination, this is significant. This is a wrong that happened. The city wrongly did not give Chandra a chance to appeal because she was not properly notified. The determination letter should have been shared with her. This is an extraordinary circumstance. It's an extraordinary situation. You need to right this wrong by allowing Chandra to appeal. And you need to revoke the determination and allow for the appeal. You've done something wrong. Let's correct it. The correction is easy. David Elliott Lewis, Tenderloin People's Congress, thank you.
Thank you. So the person who took the speaker list, are you putting everything in order? The
Thank you.
names of the speakers. Okay, thank you. Please go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Slay Latham, and I was born and raised in this beautiful city. I'm here to raise serious concerns I have about the presence of GEO Group in the Tenderloin.
Into the microphone, please.
A letter of determination that allowed GEO Group to operate 111 Taylor against the intent of neighborhood zoning and without proper notice to the community. I believe this decision sets a very dangerous precedent. GEO Group has a long record of labor violations, abuse, and mismanagement. We do not need a prison profiteer like GEO Group in our city, a city that prides itself on being a sanctuary for some of the most marginalized and oppressed people in this country and beyond. You have an obligation to the people of San Francisco to correct this heinous mistake. I urge you to prioritize transparency as well as lawful land use by revoking the authorization and allowing Chandra to appeal. I thank you for your time and consideration on this important
Thank
matter.
you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Kazimir Gatarski. I'm a transgender resident of the greater San Francisco area and an actor in the Compton's Cafeteria riot play. I had an argument of pathos, but I'd want to talk about the zoning. It falls under several zoning districts, 111 Taylor. One of the purposes of the North of Market Special Use District, which it qualifies under, is to preserve buildings of architectural and historic importance, and we are presently failing preserving the true legacy of this building. As well, it stated the 2017 designation of a Compton's Transgender Cultural District stated the area would work to safeguard cultural heritage and living traditions. We are the living tradition, and we need your help to bring the vision of a true transgender cultural district into being. True Transgender Cultural District is turning that was once a gay ghetto where trans people were forcibly corralled here by the police into a site of community resilience and care. Do not trust GEO Group with rehabilitation. Trust us in rehabilitating the violence caused to our community on these very streets. And I want to add that the accessibility of having to be a group or a nonprofit in order Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Wilder Zeiser, and I'm here on behalf of the Comptons Coalition to urge you to grant jurisdiction. Allow the community a fair opportunity to appeal the January 2025 letter of determination regarding 111 Taylor Street. Maria Richard is sitting in the back row. She's the program director of GEO Group. I'm hopeful that she hears and sees us all here today. This matter is not simply administrative. It raises a significant question of due process, procedural compliance, and legal use under the planning code. First, the failure of notice is clear and documented. Chandra, who submitted the jurisdiction request, signed up for Block Book notification specifically to receive updates about this property. She was not notified, and that request was a failure to constitute good cause for late jurisdiction requests over your rules. Second, there are material inconsistencies between 2022 and 25 letters of determination. Third, GEO Group's current operations do not align with the legal definition of group housing under RC board zoning. Thank you for your time, board.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Dr. Dan Cavella, and I'm a resident of Tenderloin as well as a public health scientist. And I want to express my deep concern that allowing a for-profit re-entry facility to operate in Tenderloin may contribute to harmful cycles of criminalization and displacement known to harm human health. When people are jailed, they leave incarceration with fees and a record, and they face systematic barriers to jobs and housing. A recent California study found that 79% of people experiencing homelessness had previously been incarcerated. 1/3 said that criminal record blocked them from housing, and 14% became homeless immediately after release from prison. I'm concerned that GEO Group's business model may be profiting from this cycle. They describe their facilities as rehabilitative, but there's little evidence to suggest that they address the root causes of displacement and suffering. GEO Group is a private prison.
That's time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Cooper, and I came here in 2012 in large part because of the legacy and presence of trans and queer community, culture, and activism. This is a rare opportunity for the city to be part of a historic move to create one-of-a-kind center for healing, culture, housing, and self-determination for trans folks in a place of historic resistance. In a national moment where trans rights are under attack, we have a chance to take practical action for the safety and protection of trans lives in the world's first officially recognized trans district. We ask for you to take a stand on the right side of history and uphold zoning laws fairly, removing GEO from the site. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Cara Plaxa, and I'm a PhD candidate in architecture at Princeton. And in San Francisco, I'm a Leatherdyke who studies how cities shape identity, power, and memory. I'm not a zoning expert, but I know that this 111 Taylor matters. In 1966, it was the site of Compton's Cafeteria riot and early trans and queer uprising 3 years before Stonewall, right here in our city. It wasn't a landmark by design. It was a queer sanctuary built by those pushed out of every other space. And today, that building is operated by GEO Group, a private prison corporation that's not neutral. It's erasure. We protect Victorian houses. We protect landmark libraries. But will we protect queer resistance? I don't speak zoning, but I speak space, memory, and justice. And I urge you to return 111 Taylor to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Nicole Witt, and I want to speak on the community and the safety. I've been in jail, incarcerated, and it was no fun. Getting out, I came up here. I've been here for 20 years, and I work for a lot of communities that help our community stay safe. It's important to stay safe, and that is a historic site, should be ran by trans community, trans supporters, and to have a profit person in there doing it, I don't think they have our best interest at heart.
Thank you.
Good night. My name is Isabella Torres. I am an architect, a Colombian, and urban planner too. Right now, we are being persecuted and even criminalized just for exist for our lives, and bodies are challenged too that which never want to change. What better way to respond to these policies of hate from those who prioritize profiles and money over people than by opening the doors of this iconic place for our community? San Francisco must regain leadership to as the most sustainable city in the world. Again, for not only because a technical infrastructure system, but also a model of inclusivity and respect for human rights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jason Wyman. I'm an artist and cultural organizer here in San Francisco, and I work frequently with cultural centers and cultural districts. A question that I have is specifically around what is the relationship between planning and the cultural districts. It was mentioned that planning sent out notifications to LODs, to community organizations, but not once did I hear the cultural districts being listed within the listing of organizations. To me, that seems at least like an inadvertent oversight, considering cultural districts themselves have a policy to actually look at set land use conditions for their own cultural districts. So if planning is not actually informing the cultural districts of LODs, then that seems like a very inadvertent oversight that has significant impacts within many neighborhoods of San Francisco that have already been determined as cultural districts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jordan. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm a transgender woman from the Tenderloin and an SRO tenant. I'm also a former commissioner. I served on the city's SRO task force where we heard about, where I was about to push for the agendization of the 111 Taylor issue back in 2019, but it shut down. That's just a long story for another time. But anyway, this has been thought about a long time. You need to grant jurisdiction to hear this matter. And let's face it, GEO Group is abusive. Google Malik Washington, he was harassed by GEO Group for calling out the lack of COVID protocols. It's so abusive there, some people max out. Now, I'm not going to be prescriptive, but I feel like that site needs to be returned to the transgender community. It's a recognized transgender cultural district and needs to be returned to the community so we can have a community process and deal with this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm Ian Duke. I'm a resident of San Francisco. From what I've gathered tonight, it sounds like previous LODs explicitly stated that a permit or action would be required to change the use of the building. In order to be notified of such a permit of action, Chandra signed up with the BBN, and she could have reasonably been expected to be notified of the anticipated action she was concerned about. The newer LOD bypassed this notification by just changing the use, and so the city inadvertently didn't notify her of the action that she was concerned about. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Leah McGeever. I live a couple blocks from 111 Taylor. We are asking for due process regarding the appeal process for this location. Ms. Laborde engaged in good faith as a member of the public with our government and was diligent as she could be. She's also an excellent researcher as an academic, so this isn't your average citizen who's engaging with the government. I'm sure she went above and beyond. I have been to many government meetings as a member of the public. What is emphasized in these meetings is how to implement good governance. We are asking you to reciprocate that good faith for good governance with the community, with us. We trans people, we don't get fair chances in life. Especially now, it's so important for us to preserve our history. It's vital to our history, our survival. So again, we are asking that you in San Francisco, a transgender sanctuary city and a transgender sanctuary state, do your part in giving us a fair chance to reclaim, preserve, and transform 111 Taylor Street for our transgender community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gemma Giron. I am transgender and trans activist, and I want to emphasize the importance of preventing 111 Taylor Street, an historic and sacred site for trans and queer community. In August 1916, 3 years before Stonewall, trans and queer individual people, many of them Latino and Black people, are homeless. It stood against police violence at that very location, sparking a powerful movement. Known as the Stonewalls of San Francisco, this place holds the significance locally around the world. We cannot allow of a corporation like GEO Group, which provides for incarcerations and appreciations to continue operating here. And Sanctuary City, San Francisco has a duty for protect this landmark and return its trans community. Ending the contract with GEO Group is a step around justice along 111 Taylor Street. To once again before we place dignity before all trans futures.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ezra Reeves. I'm the director of Compton's Cafeteria at the Play. Spending so much time with this material of this history and its legacy, I am profoundly disturbed that America's largest for-profit private prison corporation that also operates ICE detention centers is in the building that was so historic. I had something prepared, but I'm speaking from the heart. I am asking and will continue to show up and ask the board to uphold due process and to revoke the planning department's flawed determination. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, board. My name is Cherry Javier. I'm a District 3 resident. I'm also a city employee here for my personal volition. My father was incarcerated in 111 Taylor in 2024. I can personally attest to this not being a group home. We need the opportunity as San Franciscans to appeal this process, and the fact that we've gone through this rigmarole, this negligence, through this bureaucratic system that has prevented us from engaging in good faith in a system that is supposed to support us is absolutely abhorrent. We need to be able to support the historical site that is 111 Taylor, and private prisons in the Tenderloin does not speak to revitalization to our downtown. It does not speak to good neighborhoods. And we need the board to do what's right and to allow us to really engage in the process that we've all been here for hours in good faith, that Chandra has been putting their time and energy into. It is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, board. My name is Shane Zaldivar. I am with the Compton's Cafeteria Riot, and I also work for the city with the Office of Transgender Initiatives. I'm here on my own time. Things that I've heard that really stuck out, that this is a perfect example of the bureaucracy that people go through in the city, and that there's no way for people to communicate and utilize their rights, and this is a perfect example. There is a grander issue. While one person has filed this appeal, that there is a neighborhood and citizen interest, and citizens want to be involved in this process. If there's no way to get an update, if someone did all the things and still failed to learn and get active notifications on this appeal, how does the public get to participate? How do we get to be a part of this process? Courtesy works when it needs to work, and then later we hear perhaps in the future something will change. We need to be a part of this process. We need this to be a neighborhood that thrives for us, because we have nowhere else to go at this point. So we're asking you to please have due process for this community and this appeal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board and community members. My name is Matthew Gieske, and I'm here today as part of Compton's X Coalition and actress in the Compton's Cafeteria riot. The manner in which GEO Group utilizes the building not only legally conflicts with San Francisco zoning laws, AB 3228, and ADA regulations, but conflicts with the historical legacy of trans resistance. 111 Taylor Street is home to Compton's Cafeteria riot. During a time where our community is trying to be erased, it is important that we reclaim our history in the spaces it occupies. It is this very reclaiming and preserving of history that paved the way to establishing the Transgender District in 2017, the only one to be officially recognized by any government in the entire world. We ask that San Francisco continues this legacy of utilizing its unique cultural history to further expand resources for LGBTQ+ community members by terminating GEO Group's time at 111 Taylor Street, bestowing it instead to collective stewardship where it can be developed into housing and a resource center for LGBTQ+ peoples and Tenderloin residents. Honor San Francisco's promise to us as a trans sanctuary, and welcome to Compton's. Our history matters.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is June Nelson. I'm an artist and community organizer in the Bay Area. I don't have something prepared. I've been working all day. I was at the Boys and Girl Club right down the street from 101 Taylor. And I don't know all the ins and outs of this procedure so far. What I do know is that I'm angry and that I'm scared and that a lot of my community feels the same way. This is a moment when queer and trans people, the powers that be, are trying to erase us, erase our existence, erase our history. And this is an opportunity for us to be able to stand up for ourselves and provide for our communities instead of further taking our histories away from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
To steamroll over trans history with this disgusting organization, GEO Group, will we support this in this alleged city for queers? Can we live up to the hype in the city that contains the country's first transgender district? If transcestors are our revered ones, if gathering in public, despite danger, is our form of worship, if they attack our queer places of worship, clubs, bars, marches, Compton's Cafeteria, is the magic gone? If I have any say, we are here to stay, and no one can remove us despite gunshots or legislation or burning hate. We demand the return of Comptons to trans community. Give us back Turk and Taylor.
Thank you.
My name is JJ Dollarhide. I'm a trans masculine person and also a resident of San Francisco, and I guide people from all over the world through the transgender district on walking tours. They come here to find out what we're doing to support trans people because we are one of the few, if not the only in the world. And the Office of Transgender Initiatives, as well as the Transgender District, was not notified systematically about something that happened in the Transgender District. That in and of itself is a tragedy that needs to be reversed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, board. My name is Ella Vaughn. I am a resident of San Francisco, but I'm not from San Francisco. I'm from Ohio. I, like numerous people across decades, came to San Francisco partly because of this legacy as a queer safe haven, as a trans safe haven. I remember learning about the Compton's Cafeteria before I ever came to the city. And so while the city may have acted in a similar way as it would with other LODs and other jurisdictions, it is imperative to recognize that this is not a similar case to all other building permits because of the history. And even if the LOD is simply a recognition of what rights a building has, it is a recognition that can change, as we have seen here. And so it is necessary to alert the people who are invested in this space of the way it changes and when it changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is DeAndrea Gates Riley, and I am a reentry case manager over at TGIJP. I'm formerly incarcerated. I've been out of prison a year. I served over 12 years in prison. And as an advocate for those individuals who are incarcerated, I personally, myself as well, prior to exiting prison, I did apply for GEO to come to the reentry program and was denied access to the reentry program on the basis of gender-affirming surgery that I had. So I don't know much about the zoning issues or whatever, but when I hear the folks behind me, honestly, I'm not from San Francisco either, but when I hear the folks behind me, I do stand in support for them. I'm here for Chandra as well, but I do. I don't know much about Compton's Cafeteria either, but I stand in support as well. As a reentry case manager here, standing up and supporting formerly incarcerated people coming out of California prisons. They need a place, but GEO isn't the place, and it isn't the place down here in San Francisco.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to share a personal story. In 2001, I worked across the street at the San Francisco Superior Court Law and Motion Department, my first job out of law school. A motion came before my judge, Judge James Robertson. It was a wrongful death lawsuit by Sharon Smith, the surviving partner of Diane Whipple, who had been mauled to death by her neighbor's dog. The neighbor sought to dismiss Ms. Smith's lawsuit on the basis that she was not Ms. Whipple's legal spouse and therefore had no right to sue for wrongful death. Judge Robertson called me into his chambers the day before the hearing, and he grilled me for 2 hours. He understood the law, but he also wanted to discuss what was right. And the next day, he denied that motion to dismiss because he knew that no matter the letter of the law, it was his obligation to ensure that all citizens, especially the most vulnerable, receive equal protection. The community here tonight is currently being systematically erased from history and from public life. What they seek is simply the opportunity to have a say in how this historic place be used going forward, and I respectfully request that this commission grant this appeal not only because it is right under the law, but also because it is right in this specific moment in time.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. It looks like we finished public comment in the room, so we're going to move to Zoom. Delphine, please go ahead. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Delphine Brody. I'm a trans woman who was unhoused and precariously housed in SROs and supportive housing for a decade in the Tenderloin and on 6th Street nearby. I'm speaking in support of Chanrda Laborde's jurisdiction request for issuance of a letter of determination. I support the Turk and Taylor initiatives plan to repurpose the historic building, the former site of Gene Compton's Cafeteria, and the 1966 riot, which played a formative role in the trans liberation movement as a trans-centered cultural center and community space. Of grave concern regarding the zoning permission, in addition to the issues that Chandra and many others have named here tonight, 101 Taylor Street, the same building as 111 Taylor, is listed in the city's unpublished list of unreinforced concrete construction buildings that are unsafe in a major earthquake, and the building is located partially on a very high soil liquefaction zone. The 80 residents currently living in that building, please are.
Thank you. We will now hear from Rose Wonderland. Rose, please go ahead.
Hello. Much of what I have to say has already been said by people far more eloquent than I. But what I have to say most is that the land that we are on is sacred. It is sacred. It is sacred to us. It is sacred to our communities. It is sacred to the guardians that guard this land. And bringing and allowing for this group to do this level of policing, of incarceration, under the banner of housing and care and wellness is something that not only is felt in our bones, but it haunts the very streets we walk through. It must end. That's all.
Thank you. We will now hear from Casey Rios. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Casey Rios, an environmental justice worker in the TL for 20 years. Though this noticing fault was systematic rather than overt, it did happen. And it gives us the opportunity, it calls attention to the extraordinary misalignment of the Turk and Taylor site with San Francisco values and principles. EJ principles require that communities be listened to, and the continuous failure to do so is why our streets are still sick. It's not contracting faults, it's listening. Uphold trans jurisdiction of this site. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Nolte, please go ahead.
Michael Nolte here. I was at the original hearing that took place at City Hall on 111 Jones, trying to take control of 111 Jones as a prison, and I was the only one in the audience that spoke out. I'm glad to see now that there's more people in the community that understands that the harms 111 Jones has done as a group home. Many fires have happened there. Many calls for police have happened there. There's been many problems at the site, and as a I would like to see the jurisdiction be taken by the board. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now hear from Oliver. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you, commissioners, for your time. My name is Oliver Mills, and I'm a person who is trans, Bay Area born and raised, and someone who has supported numerous queer and trans people in their journeys through 111 Taylor and eventually into the broader San Francisco community after their incarceration. I have dealt with the fallout of GEO's mistreatment of 111 Taylor residents and provided the kind of queer and trans solidarity that saves lives. I believe in the potential for a positive ripple effect in terms of this solidarity should the site be transformed into trans-led reentry services. The door to this and many other possible futures is closed if the city does not uphold its commitment to justice, equity, and due process. For however long this door is closed, invaluable lives are indelibly negatively impacted by GEO's misuse of space. Please revoke the planning department's flawed determination and grant jurisdiction. Thank you again.
Thank you. Rafi Tarantino, please go ahead.
Thank you, commissioners. My name is Rafi Tarantino, and I'm speaking today to urge the city to uphold due process and grant jurisdiction here. San Francisco has built its reputation and its soul on being a city of revolutionaries. This is the city of the Compton's Cafeteria riot, where queer and trans people fought back against police violence in 1966, years before Stonewall. That riot happened at 111 Taylor. This is sacred ground in the fight for trans liberation. And yet today, this very building is occupied by a private prison corporation, one that profits from incarceration, from ICE detention, from the violent systems that have always targeted trans people, immigrants, unhoused folks, and Black and brown communities. This is not only ironic, it is offensive. San Francisco cannot keep branding itself as radical, inclusive, and justice-oriented while renting out our revolutionary spaces to an ICE contractor. That is hypocrisy, and that is betrayal.
Thank you, that's time.
111 Taylor is a
Thank
stain
you.
on this.
Thank you, that's time.
We will now hear from Rossi. Please go ahead. Rosie?
Hi, thank you. My name is Rosie. I am a co-founder of QT Studios, located across 111 Taylor Street. And we are a space that prioritizes access to queer, trans, and BIPOC artists. The significance of this building is enormous on the trans and queer community. And in a moment of historic atrocities that are happening with the government, taking away our rights, it's extremely important that we preserve this cultural site. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands raised.